Have you ever stopped to think about why bad news seems to echo in our minds while good news fades away? It's not just you, it's how we're wired. Our brains are like little alarm systems, and they've been programmed over millennia to prioritize negative information. This isn't just a random quirk, it's a survival mechanism that served our ancestors well. Imagine living in a time when a rustle in the bushes could mean a predator lurking nearby. Ignoring that sound could lead to disaster. So, our brains learn to latch onto danger, and that instinct still influences us today. Every single day, we're bombarded with a deluge of negativity. We scroll through our feeds and see headlines screaming about disasters, social media arguments, and constant reminders that the world is on fire, figuratively and literally. It's no wonder we often feel like the glass is perpetually half empty. We're conditioned to focus on what's wrong rather than what's right. It's like trying to watch a beautiful sunset while someone's yelling about a traffic jam. The noise just drowns out the beauty. But here's the thing. What if I told you that there's a scientific reason behind this overwhelming sense of pessimism? Understanding this can be the first step toward fighting it. Let's dive into why we tend to see the world through such a gloomy lens. First up is something called negativity bias. This is a term psychologists use to describe our tendency to focus on the bad rather than the good. Think about it. When you think back on your last day at work, what stands out the most? It's likely that one mistake you made, right? That's the negativity bias at play. You could have received 10 compliments, but your mind clings to that one piece of criticism like it's a life raft. It's as if our brains are saying, hey, remember that? It's important. But it's not. It's just a remnant of our survival instincts that doesn't serve us well in today's world. Next, let's talk about the media. News outlets know that bad news sells. Studies show that negative headlines get about 30% more clicks than positive ones. Why is that? Because our brains interpret bad news as a threat, and we're naturally drawn to threats. Ever heard the phrase, if it bleeds, it leads? That's not just a catchy saying. It's how news is curated. The more outrageous and alarming the story, the more likely it is to catch our attention. This creates a feedback loop where we're constantly exposed to negativity, reinforcing our pessimistic outlook. Then there's social media, which amplifies negativity to a whole new level. Platforms like Twitter and Instagram thrive on engagement, and nothing sparks engagement quite like outrage. Algorithms are designed to push the most controversial posts to the top of your feed, making the world seem more divided than it actually is. Think about the last time something went viral. Was it a heartwarming story or something infuriating? Chances are it was the latter. This constant barrage of negativity can skew our perception of reality, making it feel like the world is a much darker place than it truly is. Now let's consider why pessimism feels safer. Our brains often see optimism as a risk. If you expect the worst, you can't be disappointed, right? It's a protective mechanism, but it often holds us back from seeing opportunities. It's like walking through a beautiful garden, but only noticing the weeds. By bracing ourselves for disappointment, we miss out on the beauty and potential that life has to offer. So, what can we do about it? How can we challenge this pervasive negativity? The first step is to curate your information diet. Limit your news intake to trusted sources and cap it at about 10 to 15 minutes a day. Yes, there are positive accounts on social media. Seek them out. Follow those who share uplifting stories and inspiring content. Next, balance the bias. For every negative thought that crosses your mind, challenge yourself to find a positive one. If you're worried about climate change, look up innovations in renewable energy. There's so much happening that's hopeful and inspiring, but it requires a conscious effort to seek it out. Mindfulness is another powerful tool. It helps you focus on the present instead of spiraling into worst-case scenarios. Even just 5 minutes of deep breathing can create a significant shift in your mindset. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain, allowing you to step back from the chaos and regain clarity. Lastly, surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who lift you up and inspire you. Avoid those who constantly complain or dwell on negativity. Positivity is contagious, just like negativity. When you immerse yourself in uplifting energy, it creates a ripple effect that can transform your outlook on life. Remember, pessimism isn't your fault. It's a complex mix of biology, media influence, and habit. But the good news is that you can fight back with small, intentional changes. The world is filled with good things. They're just quieter than the noise of negativity. It's up to us to tune out that noise and listen for the beauty and hope that exists all around us. So, what's one thing that gives you hope? I'd love to hear from you. Share it in the comments, and let's create a space filled with positivity and inspiration. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more tips on staying positive in a noisy world. Let's reclaim our narrative and focus on the good.